Opening weekend in Rosemont, Illinois was a celebration of the AUSL's arrival on the professional sports scene. Highlighted by sellout crowds, legends of the game, and the current stars of the sport going head to head. The best part of all, it's just getting started.
When I was little,
I wanted to be Natasha Watley.
I wanted to be Jenny Finch.
but I never thought I'd be in the big leagues. Because there was never a league like this.
The next legendary big league is here. Built by legends of the game to be unlike any other. Athletes Unlimited Softball League. Unlimited potential. Unlimited impact. Where we're all one team, even when we're rivals. A league that will be legendary from the moment it launches. This is legendary.
Welcome to Parkway Bank Sports Complex in Rosemont, Illinois. Another sellout for the opening weekend of the AUSL. It's the Talons and Bandits, and another first, the first ever rubber match in the league's very young history. There's Bree Ellis, the reigning USA Softball Collegiate Player of the Year, fresh off her first hit and her first RBI, looking to build off that for the Talons, going up against a former Olympian in Bubba Nickles-Ca out of UCLA. She hit her first home run of the season in Game 2 of this series. Inside the booth, alongside the two-time All-American Amanda Scarborough, I'm Chucky Kemp, fresh off record viewership at the Women's College World Series. Another exciting night for the AUSL, making its debut on ESPN.
One softball season just leading into another. In fact, the last time that we saw softball on ESPN, we were watching it in the Women's College World Series, and then the night that ended on Friday night, and then AUSL Game 1 started on Saturday, keeping the good times rolling, keeping the momentum rolling, sellout crowds, elite athletes. The AUSL is the real deal. I can't wait for this game today.
Athletes Unlimited has been around since 2020, but in a different format that utilized an individual leaderboard. This is the traditional league format. 4 teams in the inaugural season, 16 players per team, a 24-game season that culminates with a championship series in Tuscaloosa.
And the players will stay on the same teams for the entire season for those 4 teams. They'll battle against each other in that best 2 of 3 championship series in Tuscaloosa at the end of July will be amazing.
How about let's get into some of those stars. One of them, a 3-time All-American at Kentucky, the first one in program history. Erin Koffel off to a great start.
Erin Koffel has an extra base hit in both of the games that they have played up to this point. In fact, she hit the first triple in AUSL League history off of Montana Bouts, where she got a couple of RBIs, and the Bandits would go on to win Game 1. She got a double in Game 2. And then on the other side, we have more of a veteran in Tori Vidalis, who has all the experience, the clutch moments. In fact, she didn't play in Game 1. She was fresh off of the Women's College World Series broadcasting, but in Game 2, her first AB, she hit the long ball, hit it out of here. That's what Tori Vidalis does. She is so clutch.
She also wears the mic. We have her mic'd up. Let's go into the game with Tori Vidalis for the first time.
Let's go! Power hitter's dream. A pitcher's worst nightmare.
Make sure you stop by the team store so you can take up your very own
Dirty.
t-shirts.
Oh my gosh, did you ever think you would see this? No. You're welcome. Anything. Good luck. Not too much. Yeah, same.
Tori Vidalis will be right in the heart of that Talons order that has plenty of pop, leading off a first-team All-American, Sierra Sacco, who has her name in the record books as the first home run hitter in AUSL history. Then it's Charlize Palacios, Ali Aguilar, Vidalis in that 4 spot ahead of another veteran shortstop in Hannah Flippen. Tall task for that lineup tonight against a veteran and a player who made her name in Oklahoma City, with James Madison winning the first 2 games that year against Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. It's Odyssey Alexander, her 5th year with Athletes Unlimited from Boynton, Virginia. We've already seen her once, a good relief appearance in Game 2.
Yeah, she threw well, gave up 2 earned runs, ended up stranding 8 runners that were left on base in that relief appearance. Odyssey throws her best whenever she is throwing in the upper 60s and whenever she's throwing her screwball and her rise ball, and her off-speed pitch is hitting. Saw her go deep into a lot of counts in Game 2 in that relief appearance. I'm sure she'll try to be a little bit more efficient here in Game 3 of the rubber match.
A beautiful night at Parkway Bank Sports Complex. There is some wind, which could play tricks on the ball in the air to the outfield. About 18-mile-per-hour gusts expected throughout the evening. Sierra Sacco from Marrero, Louisiana, leading things off for the Talons against Alexander. Sacco, a first-team All-American this year for Samantha Ricketts at Mississippi State, hit .450, 19 doubles, 11 home runs, and drove in 49.
They had her in the 9-hole to start out this season, and then immediately in Game 2 and now in Game 3 moved her up to the leadoff spot, which is where she played every single collegiate game, or where she batted, I should say, when she played every collegiate game. And she keeps reaching. Has a hit in both the games, runs scored, RBIs. I mean, she's just a hitting machine, even in her first games as a professional athlete.
Led the SEC in average, both overall and in conference play. Left side smothered by Skylar Wallace. Bounces it over. That was kind of a short hop to nets, though. Sacco reaches again.
Even with Sacco's speed, I think that will go down as an error on Skylar Wallace. Had a lot of time to be able to make that play. Went down to her knees for it, though, and then couldn't quite make the pick of that short hop by Devin Nats, another rookie over at first base.
We see the intentional bounce on the turf a lot. Was that caught in between? Or?
Yeah, I didn't think that was intentional, or if it was, it just didn't have the right, sweet, easy hop for the first baseman.
Charlize Palacios now is the 9th pick in the AUSL inaugural draft. That was the 2nd position player taken behind the former Florida star Amanda Lorenz, who plays for the Volts. Volts took 2 of 3 from the Blaze in their opening weekend series in Wichita, Kansas. Palacios 4 for 8 with a triple in the series so far. Takes that pitch on the inside corner for strike 1.
Blaze ended up salvaging a game in that series in Wichita. Volts looking good, scoring a lot of runs. Blaze needed to be able to avoid the sweep in Game 3 last night.
So all 4 teams with a win. I think early conversations we had before we got to Chicago were that it feels balanced. The league feels well distributed, and we'll see how that plays out. But overall, probably wouldn't be surprised to see any of the 4 teams in Tuscaloosa.
I mean, even you think about that Blaze Volts game, and Game 1 went extra innings. It was such a close game. Volts won that extra inning game with a Rachel Garcia complete game. She threw all 8 innings, the first game of the season, over 120 pitches that she threw.
And Mackenzie Clark, 3-run home run in the 8th inning. 3-2 from Odyssey, fouled straight back by Palacios. Howard Dobson, the head coach of the Talons, left LSU's staff prior to the 2025 season after 13 years there as an assistant coach. Had some legends in Baton Rouge, AJ and Aaliyah Andrews. That's to nets. And she helps out Skylar Wallace after the leadoff air, the double play.
Yeah, Sierra Sacco with her speed at first base, like she was running on the pitch. Hit and run, or maybe Howard Dobson just gave her the steal just on the move on this pitch, and then easily turns into a double play to help Odyssey Alexander out after that error that led off the inning.
Devin Nets, a rookie out of Arizona, the Big 12 Player of the Year. A 2-way player there, pitched and hit for Caitlin Lowe and company. Career years doing both, but she has a tremendous glove at first base. Now Ali Aguilar in her Second year playing with Athletes Unlimited, and she grounds out to nets as well. So Odyssey sees the minimum in the first inning and a 0 on the board. Bandits Talons, the rubber match tonight in Rosemont. Nothing in the top of the first for the Talons offensively, hoping to hold serve here in the bottom half. Plenty of fans in attendance here at Parkway Bank Sports Complex to see the Bandits. Here's how they come to the plate. Morgan Zerkle leading things off. Zerkle, Wallace, Bubba Nickles-Ca. Morgan Zerkle, the first ever AUSL hit. She has led off the games this weekend with a double and with an inside the park home run. You can only imagine what she has in store next to lead off this game 3. She will face off with a left-hander from Peoria, Arizona. Played her college ball at Utah. It's Mariah Lopez. This is her second appearance. Was picked up as a free agent by the Talons following the draft. But we saw her the other day. 2 innings, just 1 hit allowed, no runs, and a strikeout.
Mariah Lopez will come from the left-hand side, and she will work curve, rise, and changeup. That changeup, she will throw it a lot. You'll see it pop in there. It's one off, if not her most favorite pitch to throw.
Zerkle takes a mammoth hack at that second pitch.
And there's the change. 58 miles an hour, dropping it down, and that one had some great down movement to it as well.
Two and one. We talked about Athletes Unlimited starting in 2020. So Morgan Zerkle has played all 6 years of Athletes Unlimited's existence, but past iterations of Athletes Unlimited have had that individual leaderboard, and at the end of the season have crowned an individual champion. And we've got a handful of them here. Bubba Nickles has been crowned champion before, Odyssey Alexander. So when we talk about 5th, 6th year, it's with Athletes Unlimited. It's the first year with everybody in the AUSL. Zerkle swings through it. Lopez starting off with a strikeout.
Yeah, got her a couple of times swinging and missing within this sequence. Finishes her with a curveball in the outer half. Mariah Lopez really tunnels that changeup and curveball well out of her hand. It's going to be hard for these hitters, especially the left-handed hitters, to pick these pitches and speeds up out of her hand.
Skylar Wallace, the NFCA National Player of the Year in 2023 for Tim Walton at Florida. Hit .447 that year with 19 home runs and 55 RBIs. She's also a stolen base machine. One of the best athletes in the league as a whole. Sits on this pitch to deep left center field. Long run and caught at the wall by Sierra Sacco. Rookie range.
Skylar Wallace just doing her homework a little bit because she sat back on this changeup, went up looking for it. That's a pretty well-located pitch right at the knees, and it was well struck. Nothing to show for it from Skylar Wallace off the bat, but Sierra Sacco tracks it down despite this heavy wind that the outies and innies are going to be dealing with today. The wind is blowing hard out. I thought with how well struck that was, I had a chance to get out of here because of the wind, but now all of a sudden it's actually blowing more toward right field. But you got to pay attention to the wind because it always changes here on this field, the direction it's blowing.
Yeah, we welcome you to Rosemont. This is how it goes here. O'Hare International Airport right across the street. So you get constant flyovers. That's always nice as if you were here. Bubba Nickles-Ca trying to loft this one into the jet stream deep to center. Sacco back and it's gone. Bubba's second of the season. She's starting to heat up quick.
You can see, too, after the strikeout, how the next couple of hitters went up looking early in the count. And Bubba Nickles can drive the ball so well up the middle of the field and toward the right side. Lets that pitch get deep. Pitches more up in the zone, and she just makes Mariah Lopez pay for the fact that that curveball was more up in the zone. She gets all of it and gets the Bandits on the board first.
Second for Nickles Camarena in as many games. Ooh, that runs inside and gets Aaron Koffel.
The right fielder, number 2.
Rarely do you get to see teams really develop into a certain culture or a certain team dynamic, because when we get to the college season, they've been in practice, they've been in fall ball, and it's been building to that moment. But here, training camp started about 13 days ago. Some of these athletes arrived after that. I mean, we are really getting to see roles and teams develop throughout this first weekend, which has been really unique.
Well, and I think, too, the players and fans, as you mentioned, AU started back in 2020, and the players and fans are ready for this more traditional format to come back, where the players are going to be staying on these teams and they'll be able to build that culture, build that connection. And you're right, they're going to have to do it pretty quickly, because it's not a month spring training or training camp that they went through. It was just 10 days, and then games got going. So a lot of bonding, I think, was done watching Women's College World Series games with their teammates. There's a lot of games to watch.
One of the coolest moments I think we saw after the Game 1 win, this is the first win in AUSL history. The Bandits came together after that and huddled up, and Skylar Wallace was right in the middle of it, really firing up her team. And it's just interesting to see a second-year player from Florida, who Tim Walton raved about her leadership in her final season there, start to become that now as a professional.
Right out of the gates. Wanted to say, I want to be the one. I want to lead this team. Look to me. You can count on me. It's not easy to do with a bunch of veterans that are on the teams as well.
Ooh. Foul ball from Corey McMillan. This is a rookie from Greensboro, North Carolina. Couple hits in the series so far. The ACC Player of the Year at Virginia Tech, hit 31 home runs that led the nation. Two-two to McMillan. Off the handle and on the infield for Aguilar. That'll do it for the first inning. Bandits and Bubba strike first. For the second time in as many games, Bubba Nickles Camarena lofts one up and lets it fly. Bandits up 1. The Athletes Unlimited Softball League is presented by Nike. Some photos from opening weekend of the AUSL's inaugural season. The claw from the Talons that is becoming popular with their players. Bubba Nickles Camarena puts the Bandits on the board, trying to pick up their second win of the season. The Volts, winners of 2 games in Wichita. Alongside Amanda Scarborough, I'm Chucky Kemp. We thank you for joining us on this fine Tuesday evening in Rosemont, Illinois. The AUSL coming your way all the way to the end of August. The championship of this regular season, though, will come your way at the end of July in Tuscaloosa. Tori Vidalis at the plate, takes the first 2 pitches and jumps ahead 2-0. You mentioned it right off the top, but Tori got here the day of the first game, came on the same plane you did from Oklahoma City, from the Women's College World Series, where she was working for the SEC Network. Didn't play that day, but then in her first at-bat of the season on day 2, hit a home run. This one stays in play. Wallace with nice range for out number 1. We've got Tori mic'd up. We'll get to talk to her live in the field coming up later in this game.
And in case anybody was wondering, that was not a private plane, that we were on the same plane. You seem like we were just on the same plane randomly together. Commercial, not private. But if anybody wants to fly us private next time, you just let us know. We'll take it.
We got to get that built in next year.
Put in the contract.
Who else was on that plane with you? Jess Mendoza was on that?
Mendoza, Marty Abizishan, an umpire. And then some other in our ESPN crew. It's a packed plane.
0-1 deep to left field. Look at this go. Back and caught at the wall. Wow. I think everybody in the building thought that was gone, but Nickles-Ca nice and easy at the wall.
Off the bat, it looked great. Looked like a curveball that just hung up and out over the plate, and Hannah Flippen just recognized that mistake and got a lot of it. But again, this wind is what held it up in the air. It's blowing toward right field, thinking it was going to sneak over above his head, but she catches it at the wall. And this wind right now is a pitcher's best friend. But very soon, it could very well turn to be a pitcher's worst nightmare.
18-mile-per-hour gusts, and at the time of that ball going in the air, it was a straight across the field, basically from the left foul pole to the right foul pole, which did not do Hannah Flippen any favors. McMillan underneath that. 6 up, 6 down for Odyssey Alexander and the Bandits. One nothing Bandits over the Talons, going to the bottom of the second inning. Let's check in with Savannah Collins on the field.
Coming into tonight's season finale, Bandits head coach Stacey Newman-Denise emphasized selling out to the plan with her team. Now, that came from their loss on Sunday. She and the team felt like they didn't perform offensively the way they would have liked. Some wasted ABs, bad decisions, being a little wishy-washy about their attack in the box. Coach said every hitter's plan is going to be different, but she just wants them to sell out to it tonight in order to have some different results by being decisive when they're approaching their at-bats.
I have to think that means quite a bit coming from a 3-time Olympian, a 2-time gold medalist in Stacey Newman-Denise, and a 4-time All-American at UCLA.
Absolutely. That's a great part about Stacey, is that she can really identify with the offensive part as well as the pitching part, as she's actually the pitching coach for the Bandits. She's a longtime catcher.
Driven to center field and down, bouncing off the wall. Devin Netz around first and cruises into second with a double.
It's just the second inning, and we've only had a few right-handed hitters up, but you can just tell that the righties are seeing the ball well out of the hand of Mariah Lopez, and she's just not getting her curveball in on their hands enough. Devin Netz recognizes that pitch out over the plate, keeps her hands inside of it and drives it right back up the middle of the field, as Sierra Sacco was more shaded toward left center field, opened up a big hole in center, and extra bases for Devin Netz.
Devin Netz missed the 2024 season at Arizona with a back injury and then returned this year, had a career year at the plate and in the circle as a two-way player for Caitlin Lowe and company in Tucson. Big 12 Player of the Year, second team All-American. A little discussion at home plate. Don't see any changes, though, occurring on the field. It's going to be Delaney Wisz at the dish with a runner in scoring position and nobody out. Wisz and Newman-Denise go way back. 2 years at San Diego State underneath Stacey Newman-Denise on that staff. There is going to be a pinch runner. Kelly Torres, her first year out of Duke. She's a 4-year starter there, helped them to their first ever Women's College World Series in 2024 as a senior. Wisz swinging first pitch, fouls it down the right field line.
Yeah, both the hard hits so far have been up the middle of the field. The home run by Bubba and then the double by Devin Netz, and even Skylar Wallace's hit was well struck, and it was up the middle of the field. Bandits seeing the ball well out of her hand right now, and it's going to be up to her to get her curveball more in on the righty's hands.
That was the first swing at a first pitch by any player tonight on either team in these first couple innings. 2-1.
Hear the wind and the microphone still. I mean, it is just whipping around. And as an outfielder, you constantly have to be communicating with each other on the infield as well about what the wind is doing at this point in time. Just be turning around and looking at the flagpole and seeing, is it blowing out? Is it blowing toward right field? The other day, it was blowing toward left field. You just never know here.
This is into the outfield, right center field. Long run for Jacobson, who can't haul it in. Sacco has it. Around comes Torres, and she will score. It'll go down as a triple for Delaney Wisz.
You can tell, like Savannah Collins was saying about the Bandits and their swings, and Stacey Newman's message is that they are selling out. They are swinging early in the count and driving pitches that are out over the plate. Caroline Jacobson looked like she had called it. Sierra Sacco backed off but couldn't get to it. And because it's hit more toward the right side in that gap, Delaney Wisz hustled on over to third base for another triple. And Torres is easily going to score from second base. And all of a sudden, the Bandits are up by 2 runs and striking the ball well early in this game.
They won the opener, lost game 2, 6-3. Come out with a different mentality tonight, and we will have a different pitcher as well for the Talons. Montana Fouts, her second season out of Grayson, Kentucky, the former Alabama superstar, to switch things up for the Talons in the Zerkle. We've already seen her twice this year, Amanda. She's looked really good. A 2.80 ERA and 5 innings of work. Had the save in game 2 as well.
Yeah, you could tell that they've been leaning on her a lot with the absence of Megan Framo and Georgina Korig, who will be on this Talons pitching staff, not with the team as of just yet, but we'll talk about that in just a minute. But Montana Fouts is getting a lot of pitching time. Of course, she was a 4-time All-American at Alabama. It's our last year play in the AUX season, and she has looked strong. Got the start in game 1, got the save in game 2, and now here they are relying on her, try to bridge to another pitcher to end the game. And what she was doing so well is just throwing her curveball and drop ball off of the plate. Really good late break, not missing much on the plate and getting hitters to chase off. I mean, look at the location of these pitches. They're not over the heart of the plate, really working the edges, about a ball off of the plate. Trying to see what she can get called by the umpire. 55% of the time she was throwing curveballs. So are up to this point in the game 1 and in game 2, 23% of the time throwing drops. And this is great. Didn't know we had this graphic, but I'm loving all the data that we're getting with AUSL and being able to see all of this data from these professional players moving forward.
One of the things we've heard from a lot of players leading up to this too, because in the past seasons of Athletes Unlimited, the championship season with the leaderboard, there were no coaches. And one of the things these players talked about was how excited they are to be coached again. I think our interest is heavily on how these pitching staffs are going to be used. First pitch swinging to Jordan Roberts for strike 1. Roberts, a veteran catcher at Florida, really known for what she can do behind the plate. But certainly has power offensively as well. All 3 hits today have been extra bases. A home run, double, and a triple.
And with how well the Talons swung the bat in game 2, they had 12 hits, scored 6 runs. If you're the Bandits, runner at third base, less than 2 outs, you really want to try to push across this run. Talons have a great offensive lineup, can score very quickly, as we saw in game 2.
Roberts lifts it to left field, carrying, and gone! There's that power from Jordan Roberts.
the Bandits right now are just getting their barrels to so many of these pitches. That was about 2 balls off of the plate. How did she keep her hands inside? That looked to be like a screwball, a drop ball in the inner half. I don't even know how she kept this fair, but she did, and it went a mile. In fact, 74 miles an hour off of the bat, and I would say it went, I don't know, we had to make up a distance because it didn't register here, but 277 feet. That's an Amanda's distance. That's not the real distance, but she got all of that.
I feel like we've talked about your estimation abilities in the past, and I don't think you are confident in them, but I'm here for it.
I'm confident that that went really far, even against the wind.
Yes.
That was trying to knock it down. My goodness.
It's her first hit of the season. If you talk to Jenny Dalton-Hill about their roster construction, we got to the catchers, and the one player that the Bandits are missing is Mia Davidson, superstar catcher from Mississippi State, finishing up her professional season in Japan right now. But they talked about Roberts' ability to call a game. Really like her from a defensive standpoint.
Tricky, I can't believe that Jordan Roberts was able to keep this pitch fair, because when you look at the pitch location, it's a 1-2 pitch, a pitcher's count. It's not terrible. Look at where Palacios sets up. And this is on the chalk line. Maybe it could be a little bit more inside, but my goodness, that was a tight pitch on the inner half, and she still got her barrel to it and impressively kept it fair.
Savannah Collins has Jordan Roberts.
Okay, Jordan, the booth is shocked. You were able to keep that ball fair. It was tight on you. Did it feel like it in the box?
Absolutely. I was literally just reacting, and I'm so glad I got my barrel to it.
Plan going in, coach emphasized it a lot. Everybody having a plan, sticking to it. What was yours?
Honestly, I was looking for something outside, and I was trying to get that early. My plan didn't really go how I wanted it to. Got 2 strikes. But I really just, in that moment, was trusting myself that I can hit anything.
I don't think you're getting any complaints on a home run. Thanks, Joe.
Sometimes plans change.
Sometimes plans change. Adjustability at its finest, especially when you have 2 strikes, and you don't get to be picky and choosy. You got to go with what they give you. And she got a screwball in the inner half, and she got all of it.
Called strike 1 against Morgan, or strike 2 against Morgan Zerkle on the inside half. 2-2 count, back to the top of the order for the Bandits, who have already jumped out to a 4-0 lead. Largest lead by either team in this series. Zerkle goes down looking.
Good job of Montana Fouts. Couple of quick outs after giving up that home run. This time on a curveball. Great location on the inner half. Palacios sticks it, and Zerkle freezes. 2 strikeouts on the day for Zerkle after getting a hit in each of the first 2 games.
Two away for Skylar Wallace. Wallace from Woodstock, Georgia. Started her career at Alabama, spent 2 years there in 2019 and 2020, overlapping with Montana Fouts. And then finished her career when she exploded onto the scene at Florida. Two and one. Wallace, one of 13 players in this AUSL player pool that will be with Team USA at the World Games in China in August. 11 on the active roster, 2 as alternates. Very well could be a player who is suiting up in 2028 at the Olympic Games.
A little bit bigger of a strike zone here that you'll notice in the AUSL. College strike zone this season, I'm not going to lie, it felt tight, real tight.
Skied into shallow center. Flippen handles it. Nice bounce back by Montana Fouts to go 1-2-3 after the 2-run shot.
First hitter that she faced was Jordan Roberts. Got ahead of her in a 1-2 count, but Jordan Roberts protecting with 2 strikes, getting all of that for a 3-run Bandits inning.
In Rosemont, and what a weekend it's been of the AUSL inaugural season. How about the opening day first that we got to experience, which was an absolute blast. The first ever first pitch, Jess Mendoza, Jenny Finch, Natasha Watley, the first pitch in league history, and then Morgan Zerkle, the first hit. It was so much fun to track these.
Oh, it was the best, and they got authenticated for strikeout by Montana Fouts, who's pitching in this game. And then how about a rookie at her first at bat, not only hitting her first home run, but also hitting the league's first home run. Sierra Sacco, who's playing in this game, got the first home run and run.
A great matchup here to lead off the top of the third between a couple rookies. Emily Kennedy has entered the circle for Odyssey Alexander, and Bree Ellis, the USA Softball Collegiate Player of the Year. Already 3 walks for Ellis this season, which gives her 72 in the calendar year between 69 at Arkansas and 3 here as a pro already. Ooh, up and in at Ellis from Kennedy.
That'll wake you up. 70 on the left-hand side, right over your head. Like a Bree's little smirk about that too.
Well, half swing by Ellis. Not what you're used to from Bree Ellis, but it'll work. Second hit for Ellis of the season to lead off the inning. We've got some other firsts for you. Penny Toller scoring the first WNBA points back in 1997. Renee Cuellar, the first NWSL goal for Kansas City back on April 13th, 2013. And then just last year, Ellis Shelton, the first goal in PWHL history. Add Sierra Sacco to the list, first home run.
So cool, just big smiles. I mean, all around, just seeing all those athletes and seeing softball get in on it. I mean, some of those leagues have been around for decades, and here we are, first AUSL weekend, opening day on Saturday. It was just electric as Victoria Hayward enters in to pitch run at first base for Bree Ellis.
Strike one to Sydney Romero. Emily Kennedy making her debut for the Bandits tonight. Best year in college. Probably came back in 2023, a sub-2 ERA that year. It was up to 3.2 this year, but she's so effective. They really like her as a lefty. That's smoked into left field, smothered by Bubba Nickles-Ca. Someone you're very familiar with, played at your alma mater. You got to deliver her golden ticket to her, but what can she do as a pro?
She'll throw hard from the left-hand side, hitting 70 miles an hour, and then also work rise ball, drop ball, and mix in a changeup. And unfortunately for her, she's threw that changeup a ton, threw a good one to Bree Ellis, check swing for a hit to get this inning started. I like to see her throwing that early in her outing.
Talked to Emily the other day before the season started and talked about her long-term goal, wants to make the USA team. Something that's on her mind, has become really close with Lexi Kilfoyle on this Bandit staff, who's another player who has aspirations of Team USA. She's an alternate for the World Games, Kilfoyle is. Kennedy gets her first lefty-lefty matchup with Jadalyn Alchin. Off the handle, up the middle, and poked away. Nice play over to third. Heads up from Erin Koffel.
I'm laughing because she could have just gone the short way to second base, and instead Koffel decided to go to third. Looks like Howard Dobson is going to challenge this, but off of Skylar Wallace to Erin Koffel. And I'm curious if Delaney Wisz actually went down for the tag, but this is a force play, and so I don't know if her foot was on the base, and Howard Dobson looked like communicating with Hayward that She may have missed the tag, so I don't think her foot was on the base and she missed the tag.
And we will have a review. It's Jim Cooper, Scott Mayer calling balls and strikes tonight. John Schaefer, our first base umpire.
Really athletic play, though, by Erin Koffel, because she definitely would have had her if Delaney Wiz's foot was just on the back. But it just also was a weird developing play, too, where I may have forgotten that there was a force at third base, but Erin Koffel with a great throw to third to get the lead out.
Just wonder possibly maybe Wisz looked away from it to go to third base and didn't see if the bag was tagged at second, but spitballing ideas.
Right, yeah, no, I know. I'm trying to figure it out, too. And important here that the call on the field was out, so there will have to be enough evidence to definitively say that she got there safely.
She just tagged the base, didn't she?
Right, she did tag the base with the glove, yeah, correct, yeah, so her foot doesn't even matter, you're right. Good call. You just don't see what happened there very often at all. And Howard Dobson seemed confident that she was safe. Happened right in front of him. He was like the second umpire over there at third base.
He was right that she missed the tag on the body. It just got the base instead. Here's some Bandits cheers from the crowd.
Another sold-out crowd, Chucky. This has been unbelievable. Standing room only. This place is packed, even in the outfield.
Well, these fans get the call.
To review, the call at third is upheld. The runner is out. That's the Talons' first challenge.
One challenge remaining for the Talons. Same rules as college softball with regards to 2 challenges for each team. And then after the 6th inning begins, the umpires may initiate a review as well.
So we're going 6, 4, 5, fielder's choice?
Yes. Just
all right.
Usually get a few of those.
Just your everyday run-of-the-mill 6, 4, 3 or 6, 4, 5.
Back to the top of the order. And the dangerous Sierra Sacco. Still a tough spot here for Kennedy. Off the handle from Sacco. Wallace tracks it down easily. Another jam job on the lefty.
Yeah, there hasn't, Emily Kennedy needed that out at third base. There has not been a lot of luck that has gone her way. The Brie Ellis check swing hit, the line drive out to left field that just landed in front of Bubba, and then she really needed that out or else it would have been more bad luck, and turned that right into a second quick out here.
Big swing from Palacios to foul it straight back. We saw Charlize's sister, Sachelle, when we were walking in tonight, along with another former pro, Abby Ramirez. Charlize is wearing that number 13 for her older sister, who retired after last summer. Both runners in scoring position. Bounced into Roberts' ball, too.
I'd like to see her throwing that changeup a little bit more already in her pro debut. Mixing that in a bit more.
3-1 now to Palacios. You got a lefty on deck. How careful are you here with Sachelle in this count, or excuse me, Charlize in this count?
Well, Charlize has been seeing the ball very well. You could tell, too, with that big hack that she took at the first pitch, fouled it straight back. But Emily Kennedy, whether you're righty or lefty, tough to hit against with her speed, and she's not scared to go inside to either.
Bandits have 2 lefties on staff, Taylor McQuillan as well. Got her swinging. Big time bounce back from Emily Kennedy after back-to-back base hits to start the inning. There's one Aggie. We've got another Aggie coming up next. Tori Vidalis will talk to her live in the field. Bottom of the third inning here in Rosemont, 4-0 Bandits leading the Talons to wrap up this opening weekend series. Tori Vidalis from LaPorte, Texas, Texas A&M Aggie, two-time All-American there, hit 65 home runs in her career, an Olympian with Team Mexico, and we are joined by her live in the field. Tori, we really appreciate you doing this, of course, and I asked you when we first talked to you, can you show up a little bit earlier? You got here the day of the first game. We know you were covering the Women's College World Series. Take us through the 24 hours to get here and get ready.
It was a crazy 24 hours. We had a late show, game 3 of the World Series. Yes! And then Amanda and I were actually on the same flight to Rosemont, bright and early, 7:30 a.m. Landed around 10, straight to the hotel, dropped all my baggage off with all of my nice clothes that I won't see again until next spring. And then straight to my physical. Good pitch, and then straight to the field to start warm-ups. I was a little bit behind, but I was able to make it for first pitch, so that was really awesome. It was a big day for our sport.
Tori, what was it like doing World Series stuff and also trying to prep for season, like broadcasting and also prepping for season?
It was great. I mean, it's always hard. You know, you've got a lot of things going on. You have a lot of places that hold your attention, but I think a lot of it comes before postseason even starts, just because I know personally how crazy postseason can get with travel and games and everything else we've got going on in life. But yeah, Tan. But I forgot the question, sorry.
How did you balance?
Oh yeah, how did I balance?
Yeah.
A lot of it during the week was workouts and training. Good pitch! Workouts and training. Hey, so what? And then knowing that I could take care of what I need to take care of during the week, got you. And then the weekend was when I would be working, so it was a pretty good balance for me.
Tori, we're showing your reel, you know, when tonight is game 3 of the World Series, but tomorrow's opening day for AUSL with your batting gloves. I mean, no big deal, just typing away on your laptop with your batting gloves on. You got to do what you got to do, right?
Absolutely. It's funny because I thought it was going to be funny in my head, but you never know how it's going to translate. Luckily, everyone else thought it was funny as well. You got to stay ready so you don't got to get ready. Yeah, Tana. Good.
Tori, after the AUSL inaugural draft, you have your team, you know your coach, your GM. What was that preparation like? How much communication was there from that point to the last 10 days when kind of training camp started?
Yeah, actually, not a ton, right? I feel like there is a certain expectation. Good! Right, we're all pros here, so we're expected to take care of our own business. There was no specifics of like things that we had to do, but of course, you know, having phone calls, chatting about what expectations are this summer from every individual player. So Coach Lisa and I got on the phone. We talked about, you know, what this summer would look like for me specifically. See you, Shar. And, you know, she just told me, hey, I'm going to rely on you a lot to be like the voice, like one of the voices of the team, someone who has a pulse on the players, not necessarily like captain, right? You get so caught up in like having a C on your jersey and all these things, but there's a lot of different ways to lead. Hey, long strike, long strike. And so I'm taking pride in my role and just understanding that, you know, I'm social, you guys know. I'm a yapper, so I try to make everybody feel comfortable and just make sure everybody feels seen and like welcomed, especially the rookies, making sure the transition is pretty smooth. That's been my role so far, and I've really been enjoying it because we learn from each other. No matter what, no matter how old you are, you never know everything about the game.
Tori mentioned Coach Lisa. That's Lisa Fernandez, of course, one of the legends of the sport, the Talons general manager. Were you excited? I saw in a lot of player questionnaires before the season. I'm excited to be coached again. Is that, do you fall in that category?
Yes, absolutely. Like even at BP, like today, early this morning, we came and hit with Howard Dobson, our head coach, and even just him standing behind us and being like, hey, let your barrel release, like let your barrel lead you. Those little reminders are the most important sometimes. I think we're gonna get a little timeout here.
We'll turn you off, we're down.
Yeah, Tana.
Tori Vidalis mic'd up in the field right now. Montana Fouts in the circle. Back-to-back walks to lead off this third inning. Corey McMillan now stud
yep,
from
Sid, got you.
Virginia Tech at the plate.
Really quick, in a bunt situation like this, and a power hitter like Tori McMillan, I noticed you're playing in front of the bat. Like, how are you positioning yourself right now with her power, pull power?
Well, I know that this is likely a bunt situation. She does have a lot of power, but I have to make her beat me. Here we go. There we go. So she usually gets one strike, and then she has to lay it down. She doesn't get it there, but I'd rather her hit it past me than bunt right in my face. So you got to be a little crazy to play the corners, yeah?
True story.
Yeah, Tana. Touch it, hit me. Good.
Tori, before we let you go, break down Montana.
Got you.
Break down Montana Fouts' game for us real quick.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny because she's so intense during like the game. But off the field, she's so smiley and fun to be around. We're cracking jokes, getting everything going, but she's just laser focused. Like, she's on the mission all the time. Like, she's just focused on what she has to do in that moment. She wants to be the one to have the ball. I really respect that about her, and she wants to win. She's gonna do whatever it takes to win, and as a defense behind her, we're with her every pitch. Good, Montana! Hey, that's a big out. Good job.
Tori, always appreciate your time. We're gonna listen in a little bit the rest of this inning. We appreciate it.
All right, thanks, guys. Give us some good juju.
Tori Vidalis, such great perspective on the game, and if you get that as an elite player, but really a student, you can tell, of hitting and of the sport in general, and then now she's had the television headset on as an analyst, and she sees the game from that side.
Tori has a lot of different talents. Like, she can make you laugh and kind of cut up and keep things loose, but then she's really competitive and clutch in the most important moments on her team, especially when she's up to bat and what she can do defensively. So she's just really dynamic. I mean, she was involved a lot when she was in high school, not just playing softball all the time. Like, she was involved in a lot of different things. Like, I think the best word for her is dynamic, not just as an athlete, but as a person.
3-year captain on her high school volleyball team. A regional champion diver.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we should have asked her about her diving. You have any more hobbies over there?
I believe there might have been an issue with the re-entry of Devin Netz, but she never re-entered the game officially. She is now stepping up to the plate, so there's explanations going around currently. Devin Netz is like, man, I just want to hit.
Mm-hmm. Our umpires do have microphones, so that anything wacky that happens, they can explain it to us, hopefully. Love the microphones with the umpires. Thankful for them.
Everything's sorted out, and we're ready to go. First and second, 1 out, a 4-run Bandits lead here in the bottom of the third. The rookie Devin Netz out of Arizona. Two and one.
Tana trying to work that off-speed pitch a little bit more too. These hard-throwing pitchers come from college to play pro, and they can kind of skate by without it at the college level, but you have to have an off-speed pitch here. It's a good pitch there, curveball right at the knees. That is a pitcher's pitch and a hitter's count.
In the bottom of the order, getting the job done for the Bandits. 6, 7, 8, 3 for 3, all extra base hits, 3 RBIs. Right side off the foot of Vidalis. Aguilar tried to backhand flip it, the throw home, and they do get it out. We have seen some absurd defensive sequences tonight. Tori Vidalis looking like a soccer goalie over at first base with the kick save.
Well, honestly, she probably played that when she was growing up too, knowing Tori, but off of her foot, and Aguilar with the layout, and then just got rid of the ball to get it closer to home, and then heads up communication by Palacios to tell Vidalis to make the play and the throw home. That throw was on the money, so was the tag. And she is for sure out. Looks like they're going to be taking a look at this, though, and likely going to be looking for obstruction if I had to guess. But, I mean, the layout by Aguilar that kept that ball on the infield, the way that she got rid of it, she didn't just hang out on the ground, on her knees. Where do I go with the ball? Immediately got rid of it to try to make a play at first base, got the ball to Tori, and then a perfect throw home to be able to make that tag.
I know it's your favorite rule. If we are, in fact, looking at obstruction on this play, the rule book says catcher cannot block the leading edge of the plate or the base. Let's take a look and see if Amanda Scarborough can tell us all about obstruction.
Well, it's going to be all about where Palacios is set up before she has possession of the ball. I didn't think it was obstruction. And I think that this play will stand. Looking at her left foot, where it's positioned in front of home plate in fair territory. And I think she was okay, because once you have possession of the ball, then you can just completely block home plate after you actually have the ball. I think this will stand.
After review, the call is upheld at the plate. The runner is out. That's the Bandits' first challenge.
That's a good call by our umpiring crew. And now 2 outs, first and second. Talons and Montana Fouts potentially getting out of this inning without a run. Taylor McQuillan also pleading her case from the Bandits dugout.
Number 97, Wisz.
Always Montana Fouts fans wherever you go.
Oh, yeah. That was an incredible play, and much needed too. The Bandits have scored in back-to-back innings. Talons need to put up a 0 here to get some momentum back on their side, try to get back into this game and get some offensive momentum going from their defense.
Two 2-0 now to Delaney Wisz, who had the RBI triple and came around to score in the second inning. Wisz didn't get all of it out to left field, caught by Alchin, and Montana Fouts, after back-to-back walks to lead off the inning, strands a pair. Some stars from opening weekend for the Volts. Rachel Garcia, you mentioned it, the complete game in extra innings in that win.
She looked fantastic. I mean, 8 innings in the complete game win, game 1 of the season. That's unbelievable. And then Charlize Palacios has been hitting the ball well. She had 2 hits in game 1, 2 hits in game 2. She is swinging the bat very well and aggressively.
Just a couple Bruins with Garcia and Palacios, and then there's Sierra Romero, longtime veteran. And how great is it to see Sierra swinging the bat the way she is in opening weekend?
She's swinging the bat very well. 4 runs scored, finding a way to get on base of those 3 games played that the Volts have had. They won the series against the Blaze. That series took place in Wichita. Sold out crowd after sold out crowd in the AUSL already. Opening weekend, amazing weekend. You can just tell that these players and these fans are excited for this league. Came back in great shape, determination. They'll play, 24 games, and every game matters.
Come next Monday, all of these teams will have played a quarter of their season, which is hard to believe. There's a 2-week break built in for international play from June 23rd to July 7th. Come back after that, and it's rapid fire. A couple weeks of softball all the way to the championship series in Tuscaloosa. 4 teams in the inaugural season. These teams don't have home bases. The expectation is the league will expand to 6 teams next year, and they will all have homes around the United States as Aguilar pops out to start off the inning. Well, this is the 46th consecutive year the College World Series is on ESPN. The 8-team double elimination format begins Friday in Omaha, Nebraska. Arizona against Coastal Carolina at 2 Eastern. Louisville takes on Oregon State at 7 Eastern. Both games also available on ESPN+, so you can watch anywhere. No teams from last year's College World Series made it this year. First time since 1957. Oh, off the glove of Koffel at second. Base hit for Vidalis. How incredible is that, though? None of the teams from last year back in Omaha.
I feel like that truly never happens, and I'm thinking back to 1957. Right? Softball Women's College World Series back then. Deep history in baseball, and our sport is just still fairly young.
Well, we talked about it too when you think back on the history of college softball, and just I was like, well, that's probably never happened. You think about the dynasties that you've seen and the programs who have been so prominent for so long in the different eras of college softball. Fresno State, UCLA, into Arizona's dominance, and now Oklahoma.
And our sport is just building and building, especially in the month of May and beginning here of June. I mean, it's just been one headline after another. I said this during the World Series, but it's like I couldn't even keep up with how many things were happening. I'd go on X and I'd see this announcement or this celeb or this athlete tweeting about softball, and Nyjah Kennedy signing her second $1 million deal. I mean, that was another headline during the World Series. Their NIL deal at Texas Tech, but just so much more than one player.
Kennedy couldn't get the call on the outside corner to Flippen, who's 0 for 1 tonight. 2-2 count coming up with Vidalis on first base. And the Talons in desperate need of run production.
Like it could have easily been a strike. I think call goes in the way of Hannah Flippen, who has been swinging a hot bat, coming off a couple of doubles in game 2 on Sunday.
Flippen works back in the count and draws the 1-out walk. It's been a busy couple weeks in the softball world. You could go back a month to the start of regionals, but it's just been all positive. That MLB announcement of the strategic investment into this league, into the AUSL, has been incredible. The most watched Women's College World Series in history, and we have had 4 sellouts on this opening weekend, all 3 days here in Rosemont. Popped up for Jordan Roberts, 2 outs.
Yeah, and that MLB announcement came on opening day at the Women's College World Series. So there was already so much excitement around the sport on day 1 at the Women's College World Series in Oklahoma City. And then that announcement came out, and it just felt like it built and built and built, and more people were watching. And is Oklahoma going to win 5 in a row? And it just led to record viewership at the Women's College World Series, including our most watched NCAA college softball game in history, which was game 3 between Texas Tech and Texas.
Bree Ellis fouls that pitch up and in back for strike 1.
Numbers are just unbelievable. There was a game between Tennessee and UCLA that was on ABC. It peaked at 4 million people. Not the average, but it peaked. Look at the average over all 15 games, over 1 million. That finals game 3 between Texas and Texas Tech averaged 2.4 million. I think peaked at 2.7. And that wasn't even, I mean, let's be honest, like that game 3 wasn't even a great game. And that's, imagine what it would have been if it was a 1-run, 2-run game like most of the Women's College World Series games were this year in 2025. It would have been over 3, I want to say.
Ellis goes down looking. So Kennedy bounces back now, and the Talons bats have still been silenced through 4. All Bandits in the rubber match of this series as we wrap up the opening week of the AUSL. Four 0 Bandits over the Talons, bottom of the fourth. Talons trying to keep things where they are. They will enter a rookie from Elmhurst, Illinois, just down the road from the University of Michigan. Lauren Durkowski, who is making her second appearance of the weekend, went 3 innings, gave up 5 hits and 3 runs in her debut. An industrial and operations engineering major from Michigan.
Excited to watch her throw again, her second appearance, and she'll work a curveball, changeup, rise ball, and also spot a fastball.
She will face 8-9-1 in this Bandits lineup. Jordan Roberts hit a 2-run home run in her first at bat tonight. Durkowski has been selected out of the reserve player pool, which these teams can do if they are missing players for any reason. The Talons are missing more than anybody else. They have 4 players who are finishing up their professional seasons in Japan right now. 2 of them are pitchers, and their top 2 picks in the inaugural draft, Megan Faremo, who's been a staple for Team USA recently, and Georgina Korick, who's a former National Pitcher of the Year. So they are missing huge pieces in opening weekend. Nice off speed from Durkowski. That was just strike 2, but just for practice, they throw down to first.
I feel like
strike 3.
Everybody's so confused. The only one that was not confused was Charlize Palacios, I think, because she knew that was a drop third strike, throw to 1. So strikeout of the home run hitter. Jordan Roberts getting her on the changeup.
Bunt laid down by McKinney, bare hand by Romero. Nice play by Sid Romero from her spot at third.
Good job of reading the hands by Sid Romero. Is playing a little bit in front of the bag, but bare hands it, quickly gets rid of it. No wasted movement at all for that quick out with McKinney's speed. That was a great play.
Quick 2 outs for Durkowski. Back to the top of the order, and Morgan Zerkle.
Be surprised to see Morgan Zerkle looking to hit early in the count after a couple of strikeouts in her first 2 plate appearances.
Left side, Romero's there again. Staying busy over at third. Durkowski trying to inject a little energy into this Talons lineup with a rapid-fire 7-pitch inning. Four 0 Bandits over the Talons in the 5th inning. And we've got a new pitcher. It is Lexi Kilfoyle, the #1 overall pick in the AUSL inaugural draft, and that was a special night for her going #1.
The first pick in round 1.
Bandits select pitcher Lexi Kilfoyle.
Going first overall was honestly just an amazing night to make history, honestly. It was a moment that I didn't really foresee coming in my future, but it's such an honor. Being part of the Bandits is very special. To be part of a team that kind of already has a little bit of history, to be a part of something that can be so big but yet so small right now is absolutely crazy to me. So I'm excited to see where the league leads in the future and how big we can make softball.
There was not a lot of doubt for the Bandits. Jenny Dalton-Hill, their general manager, and Stacy Newman-Denise. Jenny said Stacy wanted Lexi Kilfoyle. That was her top priority when they got the #1 pick. They went with her. She's already had a great start, starting the opener, 4 innings, allowed just 1 run, and picked up the first win in AUSL history.
Picked up where she left off, finishing last summer, where she just had such a breakout summer as a pro. She had a great finish to her college career as well, where she became the ace of the Oklahoma State staff. And always had pitched behind someone. Montana Fouts, Kelly Maxwell at Oklahoma State, and then finally she was the ace. And I mean, boy, did she just relish in that role as a top 3 finalist for National Player of the Year.
8-9-1 to lead off against Kilfoyle. This is Sydney Romero. Right back to Lexi Kilfoyle. And there's one out. We're joined now by the head coach of the Bandits, Stacey Newman-Denise. Coach, these first 10 to 14 days, how much has it been just about kind of learning your team? We see another pitching change here. What's these first couple weeks been like?
You know, we don't have a long runway to learn our staff, to learn our personality and our personnel. So we want to see a lot of different looks right now and just kind of figure out what combination of our pitching staff is going to work in the best kind of concert together. So, you know, we've got great options. We've got great pitchers individually, but if we can be really smart and creative how we mix and match and put them against the right part of the lineup of the other team, I mean, that's going to serve us well in the long run as we face the same team over and over and over again all season long.
Stacey, talking about working with your staff, what are the differences or similarities between working with your college staff versus a pro staff that you've learned up to this point?
Well, I mean, these are the best of the best, and they all are elite in multiple things, you know, right? Like my staff in college, they're really good in maybe 1 or 2 pieces or 1 or 2 quadrants of the zone. But for these, you know, these athletes and these pitchers, they got it all going on, and they've got offs. Everyone's got an off-speed pitch, just a lot of weapons to work with. So that's where it's being smarter in terms of how they set things up, you know, and not just it's the dance, right? It's the chess game of, you know, their good stuff against this hitter's weaknesses, things like that. So they're professionals, not only in their skill set, but also just in their mindset. And it's been really fun to get to know them and their personalities and, you know, challenge them a little bit, but also get them feeling good. That's really the magic sauce for a coach, is a little bit of both, right? Let them feel like they're cared about and they're, but also being pushed at the same time. So, you know, our 10 days of spring training was pretty tough. Like we didn't take it easy on them. We definitely challenged them, and they were whining a little bit in parts of it. But I think in the long run, they were happy with that because they want to feel ready. They wanted to feel prepared to come in and play this team, and just again, there's not a lot of time. You've got to start out hot, and if you start out hot, that's going to set you up for the short 24-game season really nicely.
Love it, Coach. Thanks for the time as always.
Thank you.
Stacey Newman-Denise has been in professional softball and softball at its highest level, having success at its highest level forever, going back to her days as the UCLA Bruin, where she was a 4-time All-American and then a 3-time Olympian. She was the youngest player on the 2000 team, as a longtime assistant at San Diego State, and then now as the head coach at San Diego State. Took them to their first ever Super Regional in 2023. But when the pro game is called, whether it was the NPF, one of the old iterations of the Professional Softball League, or Athletes Unlimited before the AUSL, she has always answered that call.
Just so well respected in our sport for what she did as a player at all the different levels, for what she continues to do as a coach collegiately, and then now again professionally. So much respect for Stacey Newman from her peers and players.
Sacco goes down looking. Newman-Denise pulling all the strings tonight, and it is working to perfection for the Bandits.
I'm trying to keep up with all these pitching changes in the rubber match, game 3. Bringing in the ace, Lexi Kilfoyle, 3 up, 3 down, gets the strikeout of Sacco.
Life in the AUSL has been good so far, just 3 days in to the inaugural season, and a lot more coming your way. Volts Bandits, their first ever matchup Thursday, 7 Eastern on our ESPN family of networks, and then again on Saturday at noon Eastern. See the Blaze in action. A lot of early storylines developing on this young season. A lot of fans picking their teams. That's something you don't get to do a whole lot. Pick your teams right now. They're not city-based, so make your selections.
Yes, I love it. And I think one of those girls had a Blaze visor on and a Bandits sign in her hand. So maybe she's a little conflicted right now. I think the pink may have reeled her in with the Blaze logo. I don't know, maybe I'm just talking for myself, but there she is. She's got her Blaze visor, and go Bandits. And her Bandit shirt too. Look how cool that Bandit shirt is. Love that.
You got some merch before the game. You were pretty excited about.
I want more. I've seen a lot of things I want.
Hint, hint to whoever's listening out there.
No.
Couple Bruins at the plate right now. Palacios catching. Bubba Nickles-Ca hitting. They did not cross paths as players, but Bubba is an assistant coach full-time at UCLA now. Last year, in Charlize's senior season, she was a GA for the team. 2-0. There's strike one. A lot of Bruins represented in the AUSL. Runner goes, Palacios throwing down. Wallace has her first stolen base.
That was a perfect throw by Palacios and just such a smooth, quick tag by Hannah Flippen, but the speed of Skylar Wallace is going to get her there. Straight into the bag. I mean, that tag was on her. It looked like Hannah Flippen, too, communicated to the dugout saying, nope, she got in. It's not challenge.
I do feel like there's a responsibility on the players, because we just see, like for instance in basketball, it's the finger in the air waving in circles, like review everything, but there's a finite amount of these reviews going around. You gotta be honest as a player.
Oh, I thought that may have even been a strike on the pitch. There was a check swing. Zerkle doesn't get the call. Good eye by Bubba. Was with her curveball away from Bubba. Has a little bit of up to it as well. It's close. I thought the pitch was potentially going to be called, and I think that she did hold.
Palacios thought about throwing behind Nickles-Ca at first. She did that to Wallace and wasn't too far off. Aaron Koffel has reached both times, hit by pitch and walked. Couple extra base hits already in the first two games of the season. Tough spot for Zerkle, behind in the count and nobody out. Three and 0. It's the off speed in the zone for strike one.
Tell me you have confidence in your changeup without saying it out loud. 3-0 pitch, you throw your changeup, that's a pitch you have a ton of confidence in. Get you back into the count, throw it for a strike.
Desperately needs an out here. Back-to-back walks after the Wallace leadoff single.
Right fielder, number 2,
Saturday afternoon at 1 Eastern, the New York Liberty traveling to Indiana to take on the Fever. Caitlin Clark did not play tonight, but nearing a return. Still waiting on official word, dealing with that quad strain. They would love to have her back to handle Brianna Stewart and company. Stewie averaging 19 a game for the Liberty. Bullpen working for the Talons. That's Fouts back up, and that's the rookie Raylan Chafin, who had a great appearance in her debut in Game 2 out of Mississippi State.
Now an opportunity here with Corey McMillan at the plate. A lot of double play opportunities, so we could roll your infield, a ground ball, get a couple of quick outs, and one pitch would be huge with the bases loaded.
Zerkle ahead 0-2. First bases loaded situation of the season for the Bandits, and it was the nation's home run leader, Corey McMillan, who gets a chance. And a pitcher's count. Wallace, Nickles-Ca, and Koffel on the bases. This would be the winning run for the Bandits. Same run rule as college softball, 8 after 5. Off the end, awkward spinner for Romero. Nothing she could do with it. That had a ridiculous amount of spin off the bat of McMillan.
Right off the end of the bat with this changeup. Crazy spin to it, and so much spin that I think it ended up spinning off of out of Sydney's glove when it hit it. Play at that point.
Seven pitches last inning for Zerkle. Thrown 16 in this inning, has not recorded an out, and she will exit with the bases loaded and the winning run on first base. That did go down as an error on Sydney Romero over at third base. So Chafin comes in, bases loaded, nobody out, and what a special moment it was for Raylan Chafin. After her teammate at Mississippi State got her golden ticket, she got hers the same night.
This golden ticket is for Mississippi State softball pitcher Raylan.
Like, it was just like so many emotions. I start crying, and I'm like so excited, and I see my family, so then I really start crying, and it was just such a crazy moment. I was 100% caught off guard.
The Talons, with their final pick, select another Mississippi State Bulldog, Raylan Chafin.
I saw Sierra got drafted to the Talons, so I was just over the moon. And even now that I'm here, it still feels a little crazy. Like, I'm seeing all these people who are on my team who are like these huge names, and I just feel like, you know, starstruck.
Well, Raylan Chafin had one of the best ones because they had already given Sierra Sacco her ticket at Mississippi State that night. So they thought it was done, and they were at a baseball game for the Mississippi State Bulldogs. They came back out with the MC there and said, oh, we're going to promote the game against Ole Miss coming up this weekend. And she said, actually, here's Kim Ng instead. She comes out, gives Raylan Chafin her ticket. Incredible moment.
Well, and I want you to really think about this because Raylan Chafin has an amazing story. She played 3 years at LSU and then transferred to Mississippi State. But at the beginning of her career at Mississippi State, she was diagnosed actually with thyroid cancer, had to have her thyroid removed. So had surgery.
It's a pop-up into shallow center. Great catch by Flippen. And one out.
Had surgery, had a 4-week recovery period, and then spent weeks at home, and then went back to Starkville and gradually got back into playing. But this is a young lady who had the best year of her college career this past season after being diagnosed with thyroid cancer, having it removed, being able to recover, became the ace of Mississippi State staff, had an unbelievable season, and then got drafted to be a professional softball player. That has been less than a year for all of that for Raylan Chafin, and now here she is pitching for the Talons.
We got to talk to her earlier this year before one of their series, and really appreciative of the support she got from that program led by Sam Ricketts. She developed a very close relationship with Mississippi State's pitching coach and the Arizona legend Taryn McKinney. And here she is, fresh off her debut a couple days ago, went 3 innings, gave up 1 hit and struck out 2 batters, was fantastic. Trying to get out of a jam. Just foul from Delaney Wisz.
And she was a big advocate for trying to let AUSL know that Sierra Sacco would be a great fit for the AUSL. And so she was putting herself out there and was talking all about Sierra Sacco and how amazing she is and how she should be drafted, and then turn right back around, and then she's also getting drafted, and they're on the same team.
Bounces the 1-2 pitch in. Led the SEC this year with 23 wins. 10 SEC wins is the Mississippi State record for a pitcher. Wisz fouls another one up and out of play. Inside, ball 3.
The Bandits have just had such good at-bats tonight. It has looked to me like they've been on a mission offensively. Scored in 3 different innings, scored 4 runs in the first 2 innings. Coming out on firing.
Chafin walks a run in. Wisz will take first base. Tough spot for the Talons tonight after bouncing back really strongly in Game 2 to beat the Bandits 6-3.
And I think, too, look, if you're in the Bandits position, you have a chance to take this series from the Talons without, especially if they're down Megan Framo, they're down Georgina Court. You have to take advantage of being up 6-0 against this team that's down a couple of ace-type pitchers. You want to win this series.
Just never know how important that could be come mid-July when we're tracking the standings.
Exactly.
Potential tiebreakers. Pinch hitter at the plate for the Bandits, Bella Dayton. Native of Wiley, Texas, played her college ball at Arizona for a couple of years, and then moved on to the University of Texas, where she went to 3 Women's College World Series. Ahead in the count 2-0. This is into shallow center field. It's going to get down. Another run comes across, and it is 7-0 Bandits. Dayton will take it, an RBI single.
Blue. Tough hits off the Talons pitchers in this AB, in this inning, that have just been mishits that have had eyes. Off the end of the bat, one to third base, and then now this one off the end of Bella Dayton's bat in front of Sierra Sacco, who has so much speed but just can't get there.
.46 miles per hour off the bat.
Scorcher. Goodness. And now winning run just at third base with the run roll. Big opportunity here for the Bandits. Save their pitcher's arms to have to pitch the 6th and the 7th.
Sydney McKinney, ground ball, that's going to do it. The first run roll in AUSL history belongs to the Bandits, and they take the opening weekend series over the Talons with an 8-0 victory.
I felt like offensively the Bandits were just on a mission tonight. Came through with runners in scoring position, came through with runners on. I mean, just had great at-bats, took their walks, knew what they were looking for early in the count. When they got it, they attacked. Just a great offensive display by the Bandits, and used their pitching staff well throughout the game.
What a weekend for the sport of softball. The AUSL's inaugural season well underway. The stars of the game Playing right here at home in the United States in a league backed by Major League Baseball. 4 sellout crowds in the 6 games played this weekend over 2 locations. And we are back in action. We're heading to Sulphur, Louisiana. The Talons and Blaze will be back to work in Chattanooga, Tennessee. We'll get some new matchups, and we'll really start to see this take shape.
Well, and I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit warmer than 72 degrees like it is here tonight in Rosemont. But how about Bubba Nickles-Ca? Home run early in the game, and I just felt like this set the tone for the Bandits and their offense as a 2-out home run that got them on the board first.
Savannah has Bubba. Take it away, Savannah.
Bubba, what an explosive offensive day for the Bandits. Coach Newman Denise talked about telling you guys to stick to your plans, but how were you able to string all those hits together?
Yeah, it really comes down to trust. All of us have been putting in a lot of work, and I think that the biggest thing is we had a really unifying team meeting after we lost our first loss, and I think that it was a really powerful message for us to know that we have each other's backs, and we're going to stick to our plan no matter if it works or not. We're going to buy in and commit to it.
Being the first series, that's something you're learning about yourself, so you can have honest conversations like that. What does that teach you, that this team can be open with each other and then coming to the next game and turn things around?
It teaches me that this new format of having teammates like this is the greatest thing that ever happened to AU, in my opinion. We definitely have a lot of camaraderie in the dugout. We have a lot of camaraderie when we're in training, and even just watching video and film, I think that we feed off of each other really well, and we just want to see each other succeed at the end of the day. This isn't an individualized thing that we're doing anymore. It's more about team wins. So we're definitely trying to help one another in any way we can.
Okay, I know the dugout is pulling for each other, but these fans, they are clearly in support of you all. 3 sold-out home games in a row to look and see all those Bandits t-shirts and posters and hats. For you to wear the uniform and know that these people are pulling for you, how different is that? How exciting?
Yeah, Zerkle and I were talking about it in the outfield. We were saying, oh, there's a little fan duel going on up in the stands. But it's really exciting because this is what we get for energy and what we need for energy. So just having that is really cool.
Thanks, Bubba. Congrats on the series win and a great game.
Thanks, Sav.
Choki, Amanda, back to you.
Oh, what a weekend it's been so far for the AUSL. The Bandits get the opening series win. A lot of offense for the Bandits tonight. Sydney McKinney, the former Wichita State superstar, walking it off. The first one in AUSL history. We'll be right back. It's winners 8-0 in 5 innings over the Talons to take the series and start their season 2-1. All smiles for that team. And all smiles down on the field. Savannah Collins with Lexi Kilfoyle.
Lexi, was a group effort in the Zerkle tonight. How neat has that been to see everybody on this staff take a different role almost every game?
I mean, super special. I think all of us are completely different and special in our own ways, and I think that's what makes us even better, is all of us on the same staff.
You and I talked coming into this season about how every arm brings something a little different, but you were going to have to take some time to learn from each other first. What have you figured out so far in how this group is able to work together as a pitching staff?
I think we do a great job off the field, just sharing what we see in certain batters, and then we do a great job of executing it out there. So we obviously talk about it beforehand, practice it in the bullpen, and then once we get out on the game field, it's like we could go out there and do our thing.
We saw you in a starting role. We've seen you in a closing role. Do you have a preference, and how are you feeling this season?
Definitely more of a starter. I think I like to take my time getting warmed up, and I know what I'm getting myself into, but I honestly don't mind the adrenaline rush that comes with closing, because I think it gives me an extra few miles an hour.
All right, I like that, pumping it in there. Heading into Series 2, you know, coming out with a win in this first month, what kind of momentum do you take into a really quick turnaround, travel day, and then you guys are back on the field?
I think we take a look at both of these wins and that one loss and kind of learn from it, and I think we did a really great job bouncing back from not our greatest hitting and pitching day on, what was it, Sunday. So coming back against the Volta in Louisiana, I think we could do a great job of seeing how well we were able to stick to a plan with certain pitchers.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lexi. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Lexi Kilfoyle's got the schedule down. We're in Sulphur next in just a couple days for a 3-game series between the Bandits and Volts. Kilfoyle with a strikeout. We'll wrap things up in just a moment. 8-0 the final in Rosemont. Lexi Kilfoyle and company closing the door late on the Talons in the 5-inning victory. Alongside the two-time All-American Amanda Scarborough, I'm Chucky Kemp. Stacey Newman-Denise is going to have a team. You're probably going to have a little bit of power. We saw that on display tonight.
Yeah, and they needed to come out and make a statement early offensively, and they did just that, hitting 2 home runs in the first 2 innings and scoring in back-to-back innings to continue to apply that pressure on the Talons pitching staff.
Well, part of that was Bubba Nickles-Ca. Jordan Roberts got in on the action as well. But this lineup, top to bottom, is just so dynamic. And then when you get swings like this, makes it a little easier.
Yeah, the veteran, Bubba Nickles-Ca coming up and stepping up that home run to center field. And Jordan Roberts in a pitcher's count, a 1-2 count, really got a hold of one to show off her power, too. So that home run in the first and then a home run in the second, a 3-run bottom of the second for the Bandits that just seemed to grab all the momentum the rest of the game.
Week 1 of the AUSL's inaugural season in the books. What stood out to you most?
So many things. I'm going to remember this weekend forever, and I think the players and the fans will, and our sport will. This will go down in history, but for me, it has to be Rachel Garcia throwing the complete game, all 8 innings to start out the season. I mean, this to me is just unheard of because this is the first game of the season. She went extras and threw the complete game. This is so tough in our sport right now to throw the complete game at the college level and the professional level because these hitters are just so good. So a complete game win for Rachel Garcia, Mackenzie Clark with that big home run. I mean, that was an epic game 1.
We talked about roles. We talked about coaches and GMs being brought in. Over the next couple weeks, as this season starts to develop, what are you going to have your eye on most?
I think seeing how these hitters start to adapt to the pitchers and how the pitchers are able to find different ways to get outs, because this is what we know after summer. The offense is so good in our sport right now. How are the pitchers going to adjust seeing these same hitters over and over again throughout the summer? How are they finding ways to get outs? And how are these coaches finding ways to piecemeal their staffs together game by game?
We'll see how the standings start to take shape. We have a little bit of a taste of it. The Volts and the Bandits up top with a 2-1 record to start things off. The Blaze getting what we felt like was a big win, though, in Game 3 of that series.
Yeah, that was a really big win after that extra inning loss in Game 1, and then they got beat pretty well in Game 2. They needed to avoid the sweep, ended up winning Game 3 yesterday.
Up next, Volts and Bandits from Sulphur, Louisiana. The Talons and Blaze are headed to Chattanooga, Tennessee, where they will face off for the first time. We still have a ton of firsts to happen in the league. Couple broadcasts coming up on our ESPN family of networks on Thursday, 7 Eastern, between the Volts and Bandits. Talons at Blaze Saturday at noon Eastern. And you can catch both those games on our ESPN networks. 24-game season here in the inaugural season of the AUSL. It all culminates in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I think one of the big things that we've heard from players that stands out to me, I want to be coached again. Look at the names of these GMs and head coaches in this league. Lisa Fernandez said, look, I don't just put my name on anything. We haven't talked about Kim Ng tonight. That was the person she mentioned that really turned her head. The league just trending up so quickly.
Well, and I really think that it just felt different on Saturday and Sunday, and then tonight's games. I can't quite put it into words just yet, but it just feels different with how the players are approaching these games, getting to be coached, getting to be on teams weekend or day after day, I should say, and compete together, because ultimately it's a team sport, and I think that this new league is definitely reflecting that compared to what we've had in summers past.
4 sellout crowds in our 6 games tonight, all 3 of them here in Rosemont. That's been something that we have enjoyed maybe more than anything, is the fan engagement this weekend.
People love this sport, whether it's at the youth level, even the college level. We saw the record-breaking ratings, TV ratings from the Women's College World Series that just came out, and then they love it at the pro level too. To see the sellouts this early in the season, there's momentum behind this league, and we're in the right place at the right time.
We will hit 10 cities across the United States by the time the AUSL regular season and championship has finished. Opening weekend in Rosemont and Wichita is in the books. The Bandits and Volts, winners of 2 this weekend. They'll meet Thursday, 7 Eastern on our ESPN networks. For Amanda Scarborough and our entire crew, Savannah Collins, I am Chucky Kemp. So long from Rosemont. We'll see you all summer long.